So I found out after my first kid that I had Hashimotos, and was kind of devastated because it's like, oh, I have to take medicine for the rest of my life. But when I started taking it, I started taking Synthroid. When I started taking it, I started to feel better, and better than I'd felt in a really long time. And then I got pregnant with my second kid after I started to feel better. And I went through the whole pregnancy and I felt great. And then about a month after the pregnancy, I started to feel like I was feeling before. And when I first found out, I was having, before my first kid, I was having I don't want to say full-on depression, but I was very indifferent and I was not very engaged. I was okay with coming in and just walking right past my kid and not stopping and picking him up. And it was pretty devastating mentally for me, and I was embarrassed because I always thought that depression was in your head. So I was starting to go back to that place, and on top of things like my eyebrow hair was falling out, which is super weird. And I was cold all the time and swelling. Swelling is one of my biggest things, to the point where I wake up in the morning and I can tell it's like a trigger. My tongue is swollen. And so I was starting to see all those little things, and I was so sick the first time around before my first kid that I didn't want to get back to that level. And so my endocrinologist that I had been seeing, he had actually left the state, so I started seeing a new one. And I had done a whole lot of research on the fact that if you have Hashimotos or any kind of thyroid disease, that other things can affect it, and a lot of that starts in the gut. And so I felt pretty confident. I had stopped doing gluten and could tell anytime I would do gluten, I could see a drastic change in my physical comfort. And so I knew that there was something there. And so when I brought that up to my new endocrinologist, she wasn't very supportive. After I started taking the Synthroid, I was continuing the Synthroid, but I wasn't going back to normal after my second pregnancy like I did the first time around. So anyway, I was at a bad point. I was swelling and I couldn't lose my baby weight, and I was tired of being told, no, just take this medicine and go home, you'll feel better. They kind of created this individualized package for me, and because I was so sick, like I said earlier, because I was so sick, I knew where I could be physically and mentally, in a bad direction, that I didn't want to go back there. So I was willing to put in the effort and not need somebody to coach me along. So that fact that they were willing to adjust their norm to fit me individually was huge, because you don't always get that. A lot of doctors just want to treat the symptoms, and for me it was like they were treating me as a patient. So that was really good. So now let's see, I started coming here in February, and so I wanted to start, they started me on, they did the food test, the allergy or food intolerance test, and I cut out 4 very important foods, and that was very hard at first. But for me, again, it wasn't about, it was more about how I can make myself better and not getting back to that place I was after my first kid. And so I feel amazing now. It was, like I said, it was hard, but coming in and talking to Rich, my doctor, what is he in? Nurse practitioner. Coming in and talking to him, just being able to say it out loud, here's my progress. It was like holding myself accountable. Again, didn't have the coach that was okay, calling me or emailing me or anything to the extent of what I imagined the coach would be, but it was a good process for me. I feel amazing. The supplements are incredible. Definitely do those. I was very hesitant to take any vitamins. It's oh, I'm only 30. I shouldn't have to do that. I'm older than 30 now, but at the time. So it was just, I feel amazing. I feel healthy. I don't feel swelling anymore. I have more energy than I've had in a long time. And it's one of those things, like I said earlier, you don't realize how sick you are until you get healthy, and it's holy cow, all these years of feeling bad or just thinking I was feeling good, and then really kind of looking at my sisters or my friends and being dang it, how come I never knew that I was feeling so bad? I've been around y'all for all these times. So it's been a great experience for me in general. So I highly suggest coming here.